let us see some of the effects of this soil pollution. So one important effect of this soil pollution is that when excess chemicals are used in the soil, then it will kill the earthworm. Earthworm, it is considered to be a friend of farmers. So if earthworm, if it is killed, then it will lead to decrease in soil fertility. Okay, so we need to see to that, use the chemicals that is used, use that pesticides only in required quantities. If you use excess, then it will kill the earthworm. Earthworm, it's a friend of farmers. Also, when farmers use nitrogen and phosphorus rich fertilizers in agricultural fields, sometimes the agricultural runoff may be rich in nutrients. So this, it will lead to eutrophication, that is overnourishment of lakes. Okay, so if you have overnourishment of lakes, then it is known as eutrophication. So when farmers use excess fertilizers and pesticides in agricultural fields, then it can lead to another problem that is not only related to soil, it is also related to water bodies, that is known as eutrophication. So in one class, already in first unit, we discussed in detail about this eutrophication. Eutrophication, it's also known as overnourishment of lakes. Okay, so like this, this soil pollution has different effects. Also, soil pollution, it will lead to different health problems in humans. That is, this pollutants, it will move through the food chain and it will lead to different health problems. So when you use chemicals for pest control, then naturally it will affect the earthworm. Now, that is considered to be a friend of farmers. So soil pollution also, it will change the pH of the soil and it will affect the crop yield. Okay, so it will lead to decrease in the crop yield. Also, heavy metals in the soil, they'll find their way into human body. How it will find their way into human body means that is through the food chain. Okay, so when you have more toxic metals in the soil, then plants, they take that toxic heavy metal ions. Okay, so from plants it will move to the herbivores, and from herbivores to the carnivores. Okay, so you know that, okay, we all depend on plants and animals for our food, so it will move through the food chain. So when you have heavy metals present in the soil, then naturally they'll find their way into human body and it can lead to different health problems. So sometimes pesticides, they are known to cause different diseases like migraine, dizziness, and then stomach and abdominal cramps. Like this, it can lead to different problems. Okay, so if you see the effects of soil pollution, it has a lot of negative impacts on human health. So now that you know the effects of this soil pollution, now let us think about how you can control this soil pollution. So there are different steps through which you can control this soil pollution. So when industries, before discharging the toxic wastewater, they need to treat the wastewater properly. If they treat the wastewater, then naturally they can prevent this soil pollution. Okay, also hospitals and medical institutions, they need to have biomedical wastewater treatment plant, like incinerators, autoclaves, and other systems, and they need to treat dispose the toxic waste properly. Okay, if they dispose the toxic waste properly, then you can naturally avoid this, control this soil pollution. Also, if you take factories and industries, they can be located in from far away from some agricultural fields and all. It should be located in areas that is far away from agricultural fields. Then naturally you can prevent this soil pollution. Also, farmers, they can minimize the use of fertilizers and pesticides, and they can follow some eco-friendly agricultural practices where they can use neem oil, cow dung. Neem oil and cow dung, they are considered to be the best manure for soil. So like this, they can go for some methods through which they can control this soil pollution. Also, in industries and industry areas, frequent monitoring. If you have frequent monitoring of that pollution prone zones, then naturally you can control this soil pollution. Also, the state government, they can provide more awareness to the people. about this soil pollution. Naturally, if they provide more awareness, then naturally can prevent the soil pollution. So if you follow some eco-friendly practices, then naturally you can control this soil pollution. So you have different now the people, they go for organic farming. Okay, organic farming, so that you can control this soil pollution. They were in organic farming, they use eco-friendly manures. Okay, instead of using some toxic fertilizers, pesticides and herbicides, they use eco-friendly materials, so that you can control the soil pollution. Okay, like this, you have different methods through which you can control this soil pollution. So we know that soil pollution, it will lead to soil erosion also. Okay, so when you have the removal of the superficial layer in the soil, then it is known as soil erosion. So naturally, when this superficial layer that you have in the soil, if it is getting removed, then it can lead to different problems. So when the topsoil is removed, then it can lead to different problems. It is soil erosion. Soil erosion, it will affect the fertility of the soil. So in desert regions, if you see soil erosion, it's caused by wind, and in some hilly areas and all, you can observe that this soil erosion, it is mainly due to water, because in hilly regions, water, it is carried away along with that is, water carries this topsoil, okay, along with it, and hence in hilly areas we can observe that soil erosion, it's mainly due to water, whereas in deserts, sometimes the soil erosion may happen due to wind. Okay, when wind blows in sandy deserts, you can observe that that soil, it will be getting eroded. Okay, so there are different reasons for this soil pollution. So we know the harmful effects of this soil erosion. Soil erosion, it will affect it will lead to loss of soil fertility and loss of water holding capacity. So naturally, water is soil gets affected, and it will lead to different problems. So now you should think about how you can control this soil pollution, because soil erosion, it will lead to land degradation. Okay, so naturally, if you have soil erosion, it will lead to land degradation. So you can control this soil erosion by suitable for farm practices. Usually in some areas, you might have observed that, it is in hilly regions, you might have observed that people, they go for terracing. They used to plant crops in the form of terraces, that is in the form of steps. Why they go for planting crops like this is to prevent soil erosion. So in tree plantation on slopes, usually they go for planting trees like this, as you see in this slide. Why they go for planting trees, planting crops and other plants like this is to prevent soil erosion. Okay, so soil erosion can be easily prevented.